Hello everybody, I recently performed a version of Dan Harlan's Vortex. This is a Penguin Magic P3 releaser. Now, I'm going to show you how my version works. I've turned my version into a packet trick that you can carry in your wallet. But a lot of people like my version because I'm able to show the cards front and back, both cards cleanly front and back as being ordinary, and then I go into the Vortex routine. Now, when you buy this, you get four gimmicked cards for $20. You get two blue, now I should say these are maiden back. You get two blue maiden back and two red. I'm using the blue for my version, and here's what I'll say though. This is one of those effects where the knockoffs might be better option, the Chinese copies of Vortex, because the Chinese copies are actually made using the bicycle rider back design, and they're only about $3. But you only get one card. When you get Penguin Magic's version, you'll get four cards, two red and two blue for $20. But they're maiden back, which will work with your standard bikes. I don't currently have a maiden back deck, but I'll let you get a good look before I show you the actual gimmick. But I'll show you what I mean. If you look right here at the top corner, those are maiden back angels. These are bicycle angels. So it's very hard to tell, but they're different. Looks very similar, but the angels are different than the bicycle angels. See if my phone will focus. But anyways, so the gimmick card is maiden back. Now, I've kind of made an improvement to my version since the last time I performed it, which will allow you. Now, my version has you link two duplicate queens together because I think it looks more consistent. Because the original version, this is the gimmick card, okay? See it? Now, originally these come with a 5 of spades. Well, you would show the 5 of spades and the queen of clubs, but then when the cards would link together, you wouldn't see a 5 of spades and a queen linked together, or 5 of diamonds. I mean, yeah, these gimmicks have a 5 of diamonds, right? So I covered over that with a queen. Okay. An idea from Magic Ballet. That's what he does. So it just it has more consistency, because rather than looking like the cards have changed from a 5 to now being a face down blue card, you show with my version, let's get down to it, you show a queen and a blue card, and when you turn over, it's still a queen and a blue card. Okay, see that? Still a queen and a blue card. Okay. Now what I do is I spin the card like this right as I start the spinning, so that during the spinning they don't see anything suspicious. So I just do this. Okay. But here's my setup. Okay. So, and you can now, with my version, it is possible to steal away the gimmick and end with two completely examinable cards. So with my version, I take my gimmick card, stick another card over the face with double stick tape. There's a small piece of double stick tape here. It's hard to see. It blends right in with the crazy artwork, but there it is. Okay. So, and I'm going to show you exactly how I start the trick off and present it, because I now keep this in my wallet as a packet trick. And okay. And this is the TCC swap wallet. So I show my driver's license, right? Driver's license. Give a little, and now it changed into cards. Okay. So this is the TCC swap wallet. I did modify the straps on my wallet. These are locking straps. See, it has two different, it's a Z-fold wallet, but it has these straps here. I shortened the straps so that it would pull the two halves of the wallet together and not leave a huge gap. When I bought it, there was a huge gap in between here. Now I can show it like this, and it looks solid on the back, somewhat. So I just modified this slightly so that these two halves would be together. All right. So anyways, what I do is I show my driver's license, close, and then bam, it changes into cards. So I start off like this, ladies and gentlemen, or as Beetlejuice would say, ladies and gentle germs. Okay. So take the cards out. I display the cards like this. Okay. Now this is actually made up of 3 cards. This is the, okay, so I show the cards like this, front and back. And from a distance, no one can tell that this card is a lot thicker. This is just one single card. So I show it like this. Now I put the gimmick card in front like this, and I'm going to lift up, I'm going to bend it and twist. That allows the tape to unstick without making a lot of noise. Okay. So that allows you to unstick the cards without it making a tape noise. So you're here, and what I do is I say, look, I'm going to take these 2 cards and I'm going to put them together. And I go like this. Okay? Make sure you keep, now you're going to have these 2 queens squared up. Your gimmick here. So you remove. You say, look, I'm going to take these 2 cards and I'm going to put them together. Now, I'm not going to put them together like this. I'm literally going to put them together. Now, one other thing I did to make these 2 cards blend in much better is right along the edge of the club right here on both of these. See these clubs right here? I colored it black. The edge right here, black. Just on the club part. Just on the club. You can't see it when the cards are like this. You can't see it. Okay? But by coloring this, it allows that black edge to blend in with the black ordinary card. Thus, you don't see a white border separating this card and this card here on the club, so it makes the cards blend in much better. Now I go like this. Okay. Now what I do is I go grab. Whoa! Holy crap! Did you see that? So got to put these 2 cards together. Okay. So I'm here. So you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Do the spin. Now what I do is I come up, pull the cards apart, and I say, look, you just saw me link and unlink these 2 cards. Now the double stick tape is on this card, which means these 2 cards are left ungimmicked and clean. So it is possible to palm away the gimmick and hand the other cards out. So I say, look, you just saw me link these 2 cards together. and I make everything look casual. So I say, look, I can't turn this card over just yet. But what I do is I say, look, you just saw me link and unlink these 2 cards. And look, I want this to be completely fair. I grab the cards with my other hand and I say, look, I squeeze in the middle and I say, look, I want you to see that the 2 cards are completely ordinary. You see that? I've now stuck the 2 queens together. Now I can cleanly show these cards. Now be careful. Make sure you stick it really good, but be careful that you don't show this part of the card for too long, the sides. So you just go like this. Now if you want to now what you can do is you can, okay, now you put your ordinary queen behind your gimmick queen. Now if you wanted to, you can secretly palm away the gimmick. Okay. And I've done this before where I hand the cards out with the same hand that is holding the gimmick. because it allows this hand to stay completely empty. And the way I'm holding the cards like this, and I've done this before, and I said, here, take the cards, and they've taken the cards from me, and I've just dropped my hand to my side. It was a risky move. You got to make sure there's no gaps between your fingers. It was a really risky move for me to do, but it actually worked. And I just put my hand to my side because they were all their attention was on these two cards. So that's basically it, guys. So that's it. That's how I do my version of Vortex. You just, I think it looks really clean. You have the cards look ordinary at the beginning and at the end of the effect. And so this is what a full speed live performance would look like. I take the cards out of my wallet. I say, look, I have here 2 cards. You can see the cards front and back. Now what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to put these 2 cards. What I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So here we go. I have here 2 cards. You can see the cards front, back. Let's try that again. I already had the gimmick loosened. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have here 2 cards. You can see the cards front, back. Okay, now what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to put these 2 cards together. Now, what do I mean when I say I'm going to put these 2 cards together? I mean, I'm literally, ladies and gentlemen, going to put these 2 cards together. Just a little spin like this. I'm going to put those 2 cards together. Look, see that? Now I can pull those cards apart, and you just saw 2 cards link, and look, you can see both cards are completely ordinary. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so that's it. Just make sure that when you squeeze the 2 cards to get them to stick via the double stick tape, that they're squared up perfectly. You don't want them to stick together and reveal something. So that's it. Okay, really simple setup, really easy to perform. Just the one thing you want to work on is making sure that you can peel the 2 cards without the tape making any noise. Okay, but that's it. That's my version of Vortex, how I perform it. Okay, so yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing, and it means a lot to my longtime subscribers, man. I had someone recently hit me up, sent me a heartwarming message. They've been with me since like 2012, 2000. I've been teaching magic on here off and on since like 2010, believe it or not. And but the problem, I've had about 5, maybe 4 or 5 different accounts, and they were all terminated because of one. They were all terminated. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus per se, but I will say this. I'll just try to, maybe you guys can figure out who I'm talking about. But there is a company, a magic company. We'll just call this magic company Mr. E. And Mr. E, who sells illusions, Mr. E was not very happy that I was revealing certain tricks. One of the tricks that they are highly against people revealing is a trick, I think it's called crush, where a bottle crushes itself. You just hold the bottle and it crushes itself. Now, I learned how to do that trick from science class. In high school, our science teacher taught us a trick that if you pour hot water in a plastic bottle, it needs to be like a flimsy plastic bottle, a little bit of hot water, shake it around, then you dump the hot water out and you screw the cap on. The heat from the water will cause a vacuum and cause the so it was something I learned in science class, but I can't teach that trick. I can't teach that scientific method because it's used in a trick called Crush, I believe by Eric Ross or something. But because it was a part of a magic trick released by by this big, huge company we'll call Mr. E. You know, you've probably ordered custom playing cards from Mr. E is what we'll call this company. Yes, they've they've threatened to sue me. They've had several of my accounts shut down. They are really strict on cracking down on magicians revealing their tricks. So I was faced with a moral dilemma. Do I teach strictly my own creations or my own methods of how to do a trick? And so sometimes I would figure out how a trick was done. Like I figured out how Monkey in the Middle by Bill Goldman, I think. I figured out how that trick was done on my own. And I started teaching it to people. Now, I didn't go out and buy it. It's just how I thought the trick was done. Turns out I was correct. So in that case, it wasn't like I was trying to purposely reveal another person's trick. Ooh, I'm slobbering on myself. It was just how I thought the trick could be done, and it turned out to be the correct method. But yeah, so I've been doing magic off and on here for many times. There were times where I thought about giving up and leaving and not doing magic anymore because it got so frustrating when you have like over 100 videos. And I mean, I was reaching like 20-something thousand subscribers. At one point, I had like over 80,000 subscribers, man. It was crazy, you know, and I thought, hey, I could start advertising in my videos, commercial advertising. I could start making a little bit of money, which would then help me to buy more tricks and teach people more effects and stuff like that. But unfortunately, yeah, those days are over. You know, I'm hoping that a lot of my old subscribers will find me again and reconnect with me. That would be great because I'm so grateful to all you guys for that. But yeah, that's what's been going on over the years, is that my account has been shut down several times. And, you know, Mr. E claimed copyright infringement and stuff like that. And it's like, wait a minute, can you really copyright a trick if you sell it and teach it to magicians to perform? You know, is that really a copyrighted trick if other people are performing something that's copyrighted? You know, that's where it gets a little confusing to me. It's like, you know, there was one magician who released a self-bending paperclip effect or something, and you had to ask permission from him in order to perform the effect on video. And I was like, wait a minute, you have to get the magician's permission to perform the trick on social media? Like, that's crazy. That seems a little unfair in my opinion. So yeah, that's it, guys. But yep, this is now of course the TCC swap wallet is not made of real leather, but I like it because it's a smaller wallet. It's not as thin as it could be. The original swap wallet, which I have by Uday, is much thinner than this, really thin actually. I'll show you the original Uday wallet real quick. Hold on. So this is the very first swap wallet I bought. Works the same way. You see how this is also, I don't think, leather either. It doesn't look as nice. This looks more like something you would keep your proof of car insurance in or something. But this looks more like an actual wallet. So similar in design, but this just looks more like an actual wallet. Okay, but you can see how much thinner this is. So if you're not going to be using this as an actual wallet per se, and you just want to be able to do card switches, card changes, whatever you want, torn and restored card, and you just get you this if you want something really thin. But this has actually become my everyday carry wallet because it's a smaller wallet than I was using. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to do a quick review. This is $18. They have two versions on Penguin Magic. They have the locking version, which has these straps here, and then they have one without the straps, which doesn't lock the second trap door from opening. This, you can only open one side at a time because of these straps. Very clever design. Okay, but yeah, I like this wallet, and it was less than 20 bucks. So this is an affordable swap wallet. But there is a much better swap wallet that's only about $25, and it's Hondo's Supernatural Swap Wallet. It comes in black and orange, and it has a magnetic locking system as well as the straps. So when you hand the wallet out for somebody to open, they won't be able to accidentally open it from the wrong side. So the Hondo swap wallet, this is the U-Day, but Hondo's swap wallet is called the Supernatural Swap Wallet. Hondo happens to be the same magician that was very popular for reinventing how flap cards were made. Remember Hondo's flap cards? But yeah, I may wind up getting his swap wallet. I think it looks nicer than this one, and I like that his wallets have magnets so that there's no way that a spectator will accidentally open it. Because see, let's say I don't want this side to be exposed. I want them to open this side. Well, this, they could accidentally open it the wrong way because there's nothing keeping this locked together. Hondo's the Supernatural Swap Wallet has two magnets which keep it, so when they go to open it, it won't open, but this will. So they'll go, oh, this must be the way it opens. So that's what I like about his version. And it's still less than $30 for the Supernatural Swap Wallet. So you guys may want to, if you don't have a swap wallet and you're thinking about getting one, this is about $18 for this one. It's not real leather, but you know, it looks real leather. It feels pretty durable. I've had this for over a year, and it's my everyday carry wallet. I actually use it as my actual wallet, and it's held up really nicely. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for checking out my version of Vortex and listening to me rant about a few things, and more magic to come, guys. And right now in the process of I'm working on something, so I'm hoping to come up with a new method or a new you know, it's hard trying to come up with original stuff that hasn't already been done. I've been accused of stealing magic before because I think I come up with something original and it's already on the market, and people say, oh, you're stealing so-and-so's trick, and it's like, it was complete accident. You know, I grew up from the generation where I didn't live near a magic store. I didn't have internet as a kid, so I didn't know what was being created as far as magic. And so when I got older and I started coming up with these ideas, I didn't know that somebody else had already put that out on the market. I didn't know because I didn't have access to internet when I was growing up as a kid like we do now. So anyways, guys, have a great day. God bless you guys. And yeah, you know, don't let your meatloaf